Hey Tiger fans, this is Ben McDonald with First South Farm Credit. When you're buying or refinancing land, it's important to go with a lender who has experience in financing rural land. That's why I went with First South when I bought my property. And with flexible terms up to 30 years and competitive rates, they can build a loan package that's right for you. Visit them online at firstsouthland.com or stop by one of their branches. Have a cup of coffee and find out why First South is your first call for financing land. firstsouthland.com.
The worst corridor for sex trafficking is New Orleans to Houston. Meninoia Manor is a safe house for trafficked girls. It helps with their healing and provides education and life skills. Donate now at helpprotectthesegirls.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Protect your retirement. The Presley Group time, 6 o'clock.
WBRP Baker, Baton Rouge. WTGE HD2, Baton Rouge. Talk 107.3 FM.
We'll do that opening. What are your hand signals? What do you 1 minute? Whatever you do. Oh yeah. I'm not a seasoned.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
This morning, strong wind has led to scattered power outages across the region. No big accidents or breakdowns on the board, though. You're moving nicely on I-10 and I-12, both of which continue to move along at posted speeds at this early stage with no major problem spots, at least for the moment, and both Plaquemine ferry boats are in service. And if you see traffic problems, dial pound 250, keyword Baton Rouge traffic. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places to take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
For a tax deduction, consider donating your car, boat, or RV to St. Vincent de Paul. svdpvr.org.
Talk 107.3 Weather.
Your week starts blustery as a cold front is pushed through. Expect skies to slowly clear, but temperatures will hold steady in the upper 40s to near 50 this afternoon. It stays clear and brisk tonight with a cold weather advisory in effect for parishes along and north of the interstates. Temperatures around 30. Sunshine Tuesday, but highs will struggle into the 40s. Clear Tuesday night with lows in the upper 20s. New Year's Eve looks sunny with highs in the 50s. New Year's Day, highs in the 60s. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker with your storm station forecast, WBRZ, Channel 2.
This is Mornings with Brian Haldane.
Who are you? Brian! Or him.
I'm really quite something.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
News and newsmakers.
Coffee and contemplation.
Traffic and weather.
I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours and I still don't know why.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Great day in the morning, people.
Start your day with Baton Rouge's hub for information and opinion.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Here is Brian Haldane.
Hey, good morning, Baton Rouge. It is mornings without Brian Haldane this morning. One of the best Mondays of the year. He takes off. He brings in the backups. It's Dixon McMakin with you this morning with Bree Lynn on the board. We have a great Monday after Christmas, last Monday of the New Year's show today. Filled it with a bunch of guests. Not going to talk too much myself. Bringing in a lot of great people. Who do we have on the show today? 6:30, David Heroman with David Heroman's Florists. 6:45, Coulter McMahon with Louisiana Auto Dealers. 7 a.m., Mark Romig with New Orleans and Company. 7:15, Dr. Laprouse with FMOL. 7:30, Athletic Director Verge Ausberry. 7:45, Father Michael Allelo. At the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to do This Day in History. And then 8:15, Glen Ledet. He's the Secretary of DOTD. All your traffic problems out there, he's the man in charge. Then we're going to close it out 8:45 with Chairman of the LSU Board of Supervisors, Scott Ballard. He's been a little busy so far this year. Bree, glad to have you with me. Thank you so much for waking up this morning.
Good morning. I know.
Your first mornings without Brian Haldane with Dixon McMakin. It's always the best show of the year. Highest
We're going to have fun.
Highest ratings.
I hope so. We're going to have a little bit of fun. You want to get into top stories?
There it is. Yes, ma'am.
Let's find out what you might have missed overnight.
What is going on?
This is Top Stories and Trending, presented by Baton Rouge Metro Airport on Talk 107.3.
I want us all to listen carefully.
Number 5.
Top stories around the U.S. this morning. President Trump says the U.S. and Ukraine are closer to peace agreements, but key issues remain unresolved in negotiations with President Zelensky. Chinese military conducts live fire drills around Taiwan, drawing global attention and responses from the U.S. and our allies. The United States pledged $2 billion in humanitarian aid to the United Nations, even as funding priorities and cuts are debated in Washington. We got some windy weather down here, but winter weather in the U.S. Northeast is causing widespread flight delays and cancellations. So if you're traveling this holiday season, be aware of that. White House Press Secretary
Number
Caroline
3.
Leavitt announces she's pregnant. Personal headline making the national rounds. And then finally, President Trump unveils
Number
plans for the
2.
new Trump-class battleship fleet named after himself. What a surprise. A break from the traditional naming practices of the United States. And that is what is trending in news stories around the nation.
Awesome. Look at you. I said we're going to have top stories and we're going to have what's trending. And you just fired it off like a pro.
I will say ChatGPT helps a lot when you're doing something.
I love it. Yeah, I saw Caroline Leavitt pregnant with her second.
I believe so, yes. So White House Press Secretary, got to deal with all the media people and being pregnant.
I know.
God
and
bless.
I saw the first time in history a press secretary.
Oh, I did not see that.
I
Okay.
think so. I think she's the first ever pregnant press secretary for the White House. So
right.
moms can do it all. I love it.
Godspeed to her. Yes, absolutely. Anything that you give to a mom in a time of need. Of course, all moms out there right now, little sigh of relief. Christmas is over. Of course, we all know that the moms do a lot of the burden of the Christmas break. It's not so much as Christmas holiday special. I saw a lot of posts about that. You realize as you get older, Christmas was really a lot about your mom making it special. Shout out my mom, Regina Hatcher, my stepmom, Andrea Clussy. So many, many years. How was your Christmas, Bree?
It was good. It was low key. I told my boys, because I never get to slow down and sit down. Speaking of moms that do it all, there was a joke in the house. I said, okay, does anybody need anything? And I said, listen to me, because when I sit down and my butt hits the chair, I'm not getting back up.
Now, do you do any fun gifts as the mom? Do you kind of give something like to Bree from Santa, but really it's just something you wanted to buy for yourself? And
no, I didn't do any of that. So my boys, my oldest boy, he put on the list things like he wanted a toy helicopter. He wanted something. There was something else. And then he said, I want a big old bag of candy. And I'm like, well, that's different. So I went to Five and Below and I got one of those huge Sour Patch Kid tubes. You know what I mean? Sour Patch Kids. And he loved it. He was running around the house beating people with the little.
Halloween wasn't enough for him. He wanted
No,
some more
I'm
candy.
like eating more candy. My
Yeah.
God.
Easter Bunny's coming right around the corner,
Right.
so get ready for a little more candy with that one.
Right.
So, and the weather, it was a warm Christmas season this year, kind of unique.
Different.
Very warm outside. A lot of people actually were a little upset as they got some great Christmas clothes, but couldn't wear them because it was too hot
No.
to wear their new outfits and things like that.
No,
Churches
I
were
know.
packed everywhere.
My dad, he asked, he said, what did the boys need most? And I said, winter clothes. They absolutely need winter clothes. Well, what did they get? Nothing but winter clothes for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we can't wear it. It's 100 degrees outside.
But it was peaceful. It was nice. You can go outside. You know, of course, a hot cup of coffee or hot cocoa. I don't know if it quite hits as well when it's 80 degrees on Christmas.
Right.
But it was nice, peaceful
It
weather
was
for
nice.
everybody. Didn't have, just in Connecticut, snowed 5 inches when I was up in Connecticut. Unbelievable up there getting around. But we got back safe. But it was beautiful with all that snow. Don't think we're going to get any snow this year, though.
I don't think so either. And what was I reading online? Friday evening for the first ever snowfall in New York City. I think it was Friday night.
Yeah.
In years. Because, I mean, yes, they get snow, but not really. Not like you would think. And so the first ever it snowed tons in New York on Friday evening. Day after Christmas, but okay.
So we had a warm Christmas. I'm sure we'll have a warm New Year's as well. We're going to do some weather later on in the show. But, of course, it's going to be a great Monday today. Bree Lynn and Dixon with you. Mornings without Brian Haldane. One of my favorite things to say all the time.
I
Gordy
love it.
Rush already texted me this morning and said ratings through the roof already without Brian Haldane. We got rid of the St. Paul Wolves, brought in the Catholic Chi Bear. It's always a better show when we do that. And so we're going to have a great show for you all. Stick around, folks. Right here, Talk 107.3.
Big shout out to the folks over at 180 Pros. 180pros.com is the website. Hey, it's Haldane, y'all. And as you're mapping out your 2026, it's time to take a look at your IT. Is your network secure? Are you protected on a cybersecurity front? Do you look at your IT provider as an IT partner? Well, if you're not using 180 Pros, you're probably not. Look, they offer so many different things that move them from provider to partner that it's worth giving them a look, okay? First of all, the relationship is right there because they're local. You can call them at 225-33.
Oh, you mean like Louisiana Sport, the radio stuff? I don't. Yeah. Doesn't sound like it. Welcome back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States of America, North America, Northern Hemisphere, the world, and the universe. Mornings without Brian Haldane. Dixon McMakin filling in with Bree Lynn on the board. Great day today. Great show coming up. At this moment, let's get you updated on all the sports. You don't have a thing for that one? It's just me?
No, it's just you.
Brian, that's pathetic. You should have a thing for all your show, Brian. That's unbelievable.
For every bit, you should have a thing, Brian.
Well, big weekend in sports, as we know. Of course, LSU played in the bowl game in Texas. They lost to Houston 38-35. Great game. Great to see the Tigers out there. Of course, a team that had a lot of transfers and sit-outs and everything like that. But now the Lane Kiffin era has officially begun. We're going to talk more sports later in the show as we're bringing on LSU Athletic Director Verge Ausberry to talk what's next for athletics. And also going to talk to the LSU Board Chair, Scott Ballard, of how the search went down to get Lane Kiffin into Baton Rouge. Yesterday in the PMAC, the LSU women's basketball team took down Alabama State 109-41. LSU 14-0 on the season now, number 5 in the country. If you have not made it out yet to see the LSU women's team play, Coach Kim Mulkey and that team, Flau'jae Johnson and crew, are on fire. It is fantastic. Tonight in the PMAC, the LSU men's team back at home, 7 o'clock. Coach Matt McMahon and the team, only one loss on the season so far for the LSU men's team. So get out to the PMAC tonight and check out the team. Courts coming up tomorrow up in Shreveport. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Tennessee versus Illinois at 4:30. So a good time to celebrate Louisiana sports and to have a bowl game right here in Shreveport. Then, of course, a big game coming up on New Year's Eve. Is that right? When is that game? New Year's Day, the Sugar Bowl. Who is that presented by now? I need to look that up, actually, because
I
later.
think it's
Allstate. Allstate Sugar Bowl, because we are bringing on Mark Romig with New Orleans and company to talk about that. Ole Miss playing Georgia down in New Orleans. New Year's Day for the Sugar Bowl. Sold out. Going to be a massive crowd down in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, and that'll be exciting as well. Of course, to see the former Ole Miss Rebels coached by Lane Kiffin. Bree, any other sports that you? Oh, hey, how about the Saints?
I know, I was about to say the Saints.
I
Come
bought
on.
the paper.
It's on the headlines.
The Saints took down the Titans yesterday, 34-26. Headline right there. Just for fun for FOUR. 4 straight wins for the Hoodats. Some people are a little upset, though, because they're getting a worse draft pick.
And we're all of a sudden, and Brian's been talking about this too, but we're all of a sudden just starting to kick tail and play decent now that we're out of the playoffs.
Where was that all during the season? You know, Bobby Hebert, the Cajun Canyon, was talking about that yesterday. You know, hey, look, if we had done this, you'll come another time, we would have been. I still don't know exactly what he said, but always great to have the Saints winning. So big win for the Saints as well. Good day of sports. Of course, it's this time of year. There's bowl games on. There's basketball on. Just a fun time to watch athletics. And, of course, the portal opens up in a couple days, so I won't be back for that one. But if you do follow Lane Kiffin, he's already awake. He's already posted on Twitter and Instagram this morning. He is getting ready for the portal. That'll be really exciting to see what he does.
It will be. And I know he's a hell of a recruiter. So it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm just going to sit back, popcorn, watch the game. Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, as the Tiger Stadium announcer, a lot of people have asked me, hey, what's he like? How do you feel about him? Well, look, I'm excited. It's going to be fantastic. Saw him last week twice. Told him, hey, coach, twice, like, hey, coach. And he said, hey. So we have talked to each other. That's the extent of our communication so far. But Verge coming on and Scott coming on later have definitely talked to him a lot more. But, yeah, got a hey in with him. He gave me a hey back. And just for those that haven't met him yet, when you meet him, I'm 6'1". He's all of 6'3", 6'4". You don't really picture
tall,
that.
Skinny.
Tall, skinny guy. I wear the 44 longs. He's a 42 long. In case you're wondering, want to buy him a jacket, 42 long for the new head coach of the LSU Tigers. When we come back, I don't know what we're doing when we come back. We got a little break. What are we doing, Bree, when we come back? What's after this break?
It's all yours.
All mine.
We have no segment until we have your first guest. So
okay,
we have
fill
a
in.
break.
We're going to talk just some banter. I'll check the Facebook page. If you're watching right now, comment on that. Maybe we'll get some of your comments. You want to text me into the show as well. We'll do that. We'll be back after this. Talk 107.3. Yeah, try to send you as we go the numbers so it doesn't get too complicated. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I told everyone. Oh, okay. We don't have any comments yet. No one's nothing. Welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Bree Lynn on the board, Dixon McMakin over on the booth. It is 6/23, Monday, December 29th, first Monday after Christmas, last Monday of the new year, 52 degrees in Baton Rouge. Feels like 52, dew point 39, humidity 61%, winds out of the north at 16 miles per hour. Pretty windy out there. Chance of rain, never. What are we doing right now? Traffic, right? Traffic? Is this our traffic? What are we doing right now?
You're
Bree?
good. You're
Is this
good.
fill in right now?
Nope, this is just filler.
Traffic, no traffic out there. It is windy out there, so those folks getting up right now, it's still early. We have no viewers right now on Facebook, no viewers on Instagram. Oh, we're up to 8 now. Okay, 8.
We have 8 viewers. Debbie already said good morning.
Oh, Debbie. Oh, welcome in, Debbie. Don't know who Debbie is, but Debbie, you're my number one fan of the day. Got a few people tuning in and text me now. They're finally waking up. It's 6:24 now, that Monday after Christmas. Some people, did the extreme takeoff, right? If you did your days just right, you took off. This was today, tomorrow. You took off Friday. You took off 3 days, but you could get a full 7 days off in a row from work. So a lot of people taking off right now. But Bree Lynn and Dixon McMakin, Brian Haldane took off like a little baby, but we're in here today bringing you all the goods. Condon's not even down there right now. Condon took off.
I went go look. I was like, do we have Condon here? Like, it's crickets. Hello, hello, hello.
It has never been this quiet up here on the second floor, guarantee, when there's no Haldane, no Condon. Gordy Rush hadn't showed up yet. Flynn and are they Hester and Flynn? Are they even here?
No, when I showed up Friday for work.
Unbelievable.
I know. When I showed up Friday for work, there was nobody in them. Scotty Mac came and found me.
Okay.
And he's like, you and I are well, hold on. Hey, you and I are the only, I have to channel the Scotty Mac. And I'm like, oh, hi, Scotty. He's like, nobody came to work today. Today's a work day. I'm like, I'm aware, Scotty, but
How do you pass up on a Monday, though? After Christmas, you get to talk about all the great things you got, all the new pair of socks you got as a guy. What a great time that is. I remember giving my dad socks growing up, him always being kind of upset. Now when I get a new pair of socks, I love it. You get rid of an old pair, bring in a new pair. Hey, here's something for you. We'll talk about this later, too. New Year's coming up. Little advice from me, Dixon McMakin, formerly Dude Fashion Blog. Take all of your hangers, turn them the other way when you start the new year. Okay, turn all your hangers the other way. Then as you go throughout the year, you wear something, you put it back the other way. Then at the end of the year, if you have a hanger that's facing you still the other way, it means for an entire year, you didn't wear that piece of clothes.
that's genius.
So then you decide, do I really need this or is it just extra? Go donate it to Goodwill, Salvation Army, whoever you want to donate it to. Clear out those closets. Everyone has too many clothes, me included. I'm going through that right now. I got a lot of polos I didn't wear, a lot of button-down shirts I didn't wear, some jackets. You got to decide, do I really need this one or do I have enough? Turn those hangers around. A little piece of advice for everybody.
You've been watching that show on Netflix. What is that? The organization TV show. Gosh, I can't think of her name.
I think the hanger thing, I think it came from Oprah one day, actually. I think that's where I got that one from.
Oprah.
But I've been doing it for a while now, and it'll make you think about your closet. When you think like, oh, I don't have enough stuff, then you come to the end of the year, you have all these hangers looking back at you. You're like, I didn't wear that. I didn't wear that. Why do I even have that anymore?
Right.
You ready for another one? You ready for another one?
Yeah, give me another hack.
If it doesn't make you feel good, and in any way you don't feel comfortable with what you're wearing, donate it.
Really? Or sell it.
Sell it.
Poshmark,
Well,
something,
Poshmark,
whatever.
eBay listing, whatever you got to do. But if you put something on in that moment, you're like, you know what? I don't feel good in this. It doesn't feel right. Boom.
I never really
Donate
thought
it.
about it like
Just
that.
sell it. Be comfortable in what you're wearing. So turn those hangers around. Be comfortable in what you're wearing. Make that some of your New Year's resolutions coming up. Ooh, we'll have to do that later, Bree. Maybe one of those segments.
One
New
of the
Year's
segments where we
resolutions.
don't have a guest. Yeah, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, we got a lot of segments without guests today because I packed it up, and I'm so grateful to all the great guests we have. When we come back after our next break, David Heroman with the Originals Heroman on Government Street to talk flowers of what happened during Christmas, what's coming up for 2026. Then really excited, Mark Romig will come on at the 7 o'clock hour to talk the Sugar Bowl and to talk New Orleans. You know, he's also the voice of the Superdome. So voice
I
to
didn't know.
voice.
So during the Saints games,
That's him. First down.
First down, or everything's sponsored. Everything. First down brought to you by Second Down.
They do all that stuff. So voice to voice, we'll get to talk about that. I'm curious to ask him, you know, normally with the Saints game, it's a home game for the Saints. How does he interact differently when it's a neutral site, technically? So is he offensive centric because it's Ole Miss Rebels, Georgia Bulldogs? It's not going to be first down Rebels, first down. I don't know. So after we talk about all the great stuff he does in his actual job and all the cool stuff he does over there as well. It's a Monday morning without Brian Haldane. I got two texts now.
Savakit's in the house.
Oh, my
Shout out Savakit.
gosh. Oh, boy. All right.
John Walters.
Over under 5 posts about Dixon from the Savakit this year. That might be the goal to see. They roast me pretty good. Pretty good. They got some good ones out there of me last year. Dan Bournet is not coming back, by the way. Thanks a lot, Savakit, for that one. That one was a good post. But appreciate the mystery writer for the Savakit. We have a lot of fun. Does the Savakit hate me? Like, that's the question I get a lot because once they make a post about you, people think the Savakit hates you.
I don't think he or she hates anybody. Whoever it is. I think it's all love. It's just a good roast.
It's trying to get the viewers up there, get the post. So, you know, if you're doing something the Savakit makes fun of you, a little riff, you know, it's either a good thing or maybe you need to evaluate what you're doing and go check on yourself because the Savakit made fun of you a little bit. But shout out to the Savakit, the mystery writer that is the Savakit. You know, you never know.
I know who it is, but I'm never gonna. I just can't. I know who it is.
I may or may not know who it is. And,
the Savakit goes, we heart McMakin.
Oh! We see, so it's not even, maybe it's not even a person.
It might even be a whole team. I think I know who it is.
You know, heck, that might be Haldane right now. You know, he's not here. Maybe he's posting from the Savakit site.
Come on, Haldane.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a
right?
Haldane does talk show in the morning, Advocate at night. But now
We'd love him more if he had his purple cup today. Where's your purple cup?
don't have one, actually. I've actually not been given one yet. I've been around the Advocate tumbler. I got my Benny's cup today. But, yeah, I've not actually been given a Advocate cup. So they're tuning in right now. And so maybe we'll get one for Christmas next year. We'll be back after this. Talk 107.3. Yeah. No way. whenever we call some of the other people, we'll probably call them a little closer to the breaks. They're not waiting because they might kill me.
I know Brian always gets me to call them, but I see what you're saying. So they're not hanging.
What?
He's with us, even though he's not here. How they?
You comment or something?
He's playing. Merry Christmas.
Oh. Good morning, Baton Rouge. Mornings, good morning, Baton Rouge. Mornings without Brian Haldane this morning, Monday. Glad to have with us now our first guest of the day, David Heroman of the original Heroman's Florist on Government Street. David, good morning. Thanks for joining me. I can't hear him. Hit this button. David, can you hear me? Nope. Nope. I've never answered on this side. It just pops up. Yeah.
Brian.
On that the button over there they usually do for me. Hello? I don't hear him. Mm-mm.
This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna banter while I
Well, we are going to have David Heroman coming in at some point, so wait to see. This is Bree Lynn for all those watching at home, executive producer. This is what happens when you bring in the backup sometimes.
Hey, good morning, David. I'm sorry, we're trying to get you fired up.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear myself. I don't hear nothing in the headset. Maybe that's hello. I mean, I hear me, David. Do you hear him on your side? I mean, he woke up early to be on the radio.
I know. We're gonna get him.
I've never touched this thing before when I've hosted.
Come on.
Yeah, so
Come on, Dixon.
there's a button somewhere on your side, somewhere to
I think so.
Bum, bum, bum,
All right, try it now.
Nope. David?
I can hear you.
Hey! All right. Hey, it's a Monday. It's early. Thanks for Thanks for putting up with us there, David. Appreciate you so much. So, thought about you yesterday when I was doing my show rundown. Was like, hey, I like some unique stuff, some people I know in town, and of course, your brother was too lazy to definitely come on the show, but you're up and at him, getting to work at the original Heroman's on Government Street. So, just wanted to talk about, obviously the holiday season. A lot of people give flowers. What did you see this holiday season? What was kind of the trends, and then what's coming up for 2026? What season are we in?
Well, the Christmas holidays are always a good way to give a gift to somebody when you can't get directly to them. And so the power of the flower can reach out far and wide to whether business or, personal reasons. And so, there's a good holiday for the gift giving, and between the blooming plants points to that as flowers, the gift bags, things along those lines. And then moving into the new year, obviously, it's how you start the new year. And what better way than with fresh flowers? Everybody feels better when they have flowers in the house. So,
Everyone except my wife. She's not awake yet, so I can say that. She's one of those believers in give me something that's going to last more than a year. Don't give me something that's going to die on me. But I love giving her flowers still. I give her tulips all the time. I come to y'all shop on Starring on Government over there. But she's one of the few that is, in the opposite range. But she always smiles, David. I've never met someone that gets a bouquet or a thing of flowers and doesn't smile, right?
exactly. And that's it. It's that gift that just even though it's not the longest lasting, it is a gift of life. And so it is something that could be appreciated. But yeah, definitely listen to the wife of what she'll prefer. That's for sure. Because I've always said that, there's 35% of the population that are flower buyers, but there's 100% of the population that are flower receivers. And so everybody appreciates, just may tell you next time, maybe not do that, but it's always nice to slip it in every so often just to remind them that, you are thinking about them.
David, I was thinking about you guys. I had unfortunately had to go visit a friend who had a family member pass away and saw the beautiful bouquets that were at the funeral home. Was curious, when people call you in, something I know this about y'all, that it's always available kind of day of, right? If you forget or if it's that morning of, y'all's turnaround time has been fantastic for me. So should people ever be concerned that, oh, it's too late to get something, or really just call y'all in because y'all are locally owned and operated, and of course, getting things out to people, the turnaround time is very quick.
It really is. And I always tell the customers, and tell me, oh, you got to get it there real early in the morning. We have the motto, the funerals take precedent.
Yeah.
And so if it's a last minute call, even 30 minutes before the even funeral starts, we'll do the best we can to get something there. Because again, that remembrance, when you walk into a funeral home for a funeral and there's nothing there, no flowers, they chose not to do anything, it's kind of not a celebration of life when you have all the flowers and the tributes and, pouring out of love for their life in a sense. And you see all that, and it really makes it more a celebration of life, which it should be.
Yeah, I love that. So looking back on 2025, we're with David Heroman, the original Heroman's Florist. David, what was your top seller this year, the most popular? And that is the trend that you've seen. What do we have for 2025?
Well, it's always the flowers. And the best part about my job is I can offer a wide range of options from someone who just wants to come in and grab a loose punch for $10 or $15, and then someone who wants to really impress, maybe their future wife or fiance and have it delivered to the job. And so it's really just a trend of the flowers. I have a banner in my office said it's the flower stupid, to remind me it's really what I got into the business for and what really works for us. And so I just try to get the freshest, best product that'll last the longest.
Did that banner start in 92 after the Clinton campaign? Is the economy stupid? Then
It was. I had to take it from our ex-president to remind me, because it was the economy stupid. So yeah, it's definitely the flower stupid.
Look, of course, tulips, red roses, pink roses, sunflowers, pansies, daisies, whatever you got. What was the individual top flower of 2025 for y'all?
It's always the rose. Now, seasonally, people look for the peony, and I have been bringing them in 3 times a year. Typically, they're only available once a year. But we've done some really great things in terms of getting, production available more. So in different parts of the world, so we can bring the peony flower in for people. And it's really, like I said, it's one of those flowers that are really special, and people look out for it. So we're doing our best to make it more available throughout next year, too.
Where do those come from exactly?
Well, it depends on the region, the time. So right now they just came from Chile. And so right before then they came from Alaska. And then around Valentine's, they come from the Midwest of the United States. And they only bloom for 1 or 2 weeks. And so they grow them from the northern part of the state down to the southern part of the states, right there, the middle track of America. And so they produce them for about 6 weeks from May to June. is our local production. Other than that, they come from wherever in the world they can grow them. But it's a short-lived growth season, about 2 weeks off one plant.
Oh, wow. Okay, so of course, Christmas ends, New Year's happens, and now y'all are gearing up. Valentine's Day, arguably the biggest day of the year for the flower industry, correct?
By far. And so that day is, our Super Bowl. And it always gets affected, and this year it will be because Mardi Gras is the Tuesday after Saturday, February. And so it gets affected some because people leave town and want to get out of town or celebrate the Mardi Gras festivities. And so we prepare for that. But you can know this, we're going to be ready for you. Anything you need for the Valentine's Day holiday.
Well, I appreciate you getting up this morning for me. Of course, your brother, worthless as usual, but he does a great job doing the flowers up in the north, and appreciate you so much. Good luck to everything, and hope you'll have a great 2026, David. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Dixon. Have a great show.
Y'all too. That was David Heroman, the original Heroman's florist since 1878. So go check out all the Heromans around town. David, Burke, Billy, Ricky, all the Heromans. There's flowers everywhere in Baton Rouge. We come back. Coulter McMahon with Louisiana Auto Dealers on Talk 107.3.
What you're going to do to switch it to in studio, you're going to switch it to that button on your side.
Okay.
And then you're going to drop him.
Gotcha.
Like when you're done, just drop him.
Oh.
Yeah. We're learning. I've never had to fire it up on that side. Brian always did. Okay, so for this break, we only have about 7 minutes for this break. Wait. Roughly like 5 minutes.
Or
This next guest.
oh, really? That's it?
It's a short, 15. Come back to no, I'm sorry. I'm totally off. Like roughly 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I still have to follow my cheat sheet. Because I need to know really when to fire ABC News and when to fire your money.
This will go all the way right to 7, right?
Yeah, we're going to go right up to 6:59:50. Yeah, and I'm going to have to make a legal ID.
And then Mark Romig.
I'm going to have to play your money now, and it's just a quick little 1 minute. I'm going to bump to you. Hey, good morning. This is Talk 1073. We're going to come to you in about 1 minute. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, welcome back. Good morning. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin filling in for Brian Haldane, Bree Lynn on the board. Joining me next on our great Monday show, Coulter McMahon, Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association president. I'll push this button. Coulter, you there?
Dixon, good morning.
All right, we got the button to work, Coulter. Sorry, didn't work the first guest too much, but hey, thanks for waking up with me on this morning, last Monday of the new year. Wanted to bring you on and just talk about, I see all those commercials during the holiday season for automobiles, and how was the 2025 season for your dealers?
Yeah, absolutely. First, thanks for having me, Dixon, and happy Monday to you. I'll tell you, dealers are looking to close 2025 out on a strong note. If you really look at the numbers year over year as compared to this time last year, approximately 15,000 more sales than this time last year.
Wow.
So it's been a good year here in Louisiana. And certainly dealers have been able to weather any sort of, crisis. When you look back in the spring, it's been quite the year with tariffs and things of that nature. But here in Louisiana, it's been a good year for dealers.
And of course, as the president of the Automobile Association, you travel around the country, you talk to other of your colleagues. How's Louisiana looking compared to other states, other part of the country?
Yeah, so I think Louisiana is well positioned. I mean, every state is different, as you know. I mean, if you look at the way some of the northeastern states do business from an EV standpoint, California, another example, where they have their own set of emission standards in those states. California has their own set of emission standards, and a number of states across the country adopted those electric vehicle emission standards. Thankfully, those were rolled back by President Trump because they were unattainable.
Yeah.
And ultimately, while Louisiana did not adopt those standards, the impact of those states would have trickled down from a manufacturer distribution perspective. So, we're well positioned as compared to our neighboring states, other states across the country. And again, just really pleased with the year 2025, even though it had some challenges. Dealers are resilient.
Yeah, had some challenges, and of course, the resiliency of your dealers. And something I love that y'all do, Coulter, on your social media, and you get out there in the community, is what your dealers do for the local communities as well. Can you touch on that a little bit of what they're giving back to their local areas?
Yeah, Dixon, I appreciate you actually bringing that up. It's LADA. We have an LADA Dealers Do Good campaign. And what we ask the dealers to do, because you see it every day, but we really wanted to emphasize it, highlight it through our social media channels, is whatever philanthropic event that dealers sponsor, or if it's a t-ball team, a high school football team, cooking for your local charity, we are highlighting that across our distribution social media channels, because I really look at it as, dealers are one of the last small businesses in each community that you really can touch, and the impact that they have. I mean, Justin, this is just an approximate, but in 2024, $18 million in charitable contributions, and I think that number's a lot higher than that. But that's a number that we've come up with for the year 2024. So yes, dealers are so involved in their community, and that's what makes the franchise model so great.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up in Baton Rouge, I don't know if a young kid played sports in Baton Rouge and at some point didn't wear the Jerry Lane Chevrolet on their shirts growing up all those years. We didn't really know what that was, but of course I was fortunate to even be in a Jerry Lane commercial as a little kid as well. So pretty solid to do all that. So 2025, we're wrapping that year up. What are you looking forward to for 2026, and any challenges you might foresee as well coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, one of our missions is improving the part of our mission is improving the experience for the dealer, but more importantly, the experience for the consumer. So we're always looking for ways, regulatory, legislatively, that we can improve the car buying process. And so we're studying some different things that we can do to improve the customer experience. Every year is going to have its challenges, its unexpected events. We'll always be ready to handle that. But really looking forward to a great 2026. And really improving on what we were able to accomplish in the year 2025.
Oh, that's great. He's Coulter McMahon. He is the president and CEO of the Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association, LADA. Check them out, LADA.org. Coulter, once again, thanks for waking up on the Monday after Christmas, last Monday of the year, and just talking a little bit about the auto dealers and the great work y'all are doing. Wish you a very blessed new year, and I'll see you around in 2026, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Dixon.
Have a good one. Year. Appreciate you, Coulter, and thank you so much, Coulter McMahon, with LADA and everything they're doing over there. Love the give back thing they do. Of course, if you're growing up in Louisiana, at some point, a auto dealer was on one of your jerseys, on one of your things. You see them in the outfields of what they're doing. And as a legislator, that's always something interesting. People want the direct purchase, but when you hear about that, you don't see Teslas out advertising or doing things like that, but you see those local dealers, means something to them, and always great, usually family-owned businesses around Baton Rouge and Louisiana. So really great stuff from Coulter. When we come back, really excited for my next guest coming up, Mark Romig. Mark is with New Orleans and Company. He is the voice of the Superdome as well. They got the Sugar Bowl in 2 days. We're going to talk about all the great things that are coming up in New Orleans. Great time of year to be down in New Orleans. Of course, you just heard on our recent news ad that we have more security down there this year. Governor Jeff Landry has sent more troops down there to make sure that it is safe. New Orleans is the front porch to Louisiana. Louisiana is the front porch to the United States. So want to make sure everybody's safe down there for the New Year break, and really excited to have Mark come on. After Mark, Dr. Laprouse with OLOL FMOL is going to talk about some of their ER expansion. Then it's 7:30, Athletic Director Verge Ausberry. 7:45, Father Michael Allelo from St. Aloysius to talk the holiday season and really how busy he was, and all the other pastors around Baton Rouge as well. So we're going to have just a fantastic 7 o'clock hour. It's Mornings Without Brian Haldane right here on Talk 107.3. All right, what's coming up with Mark? With him? Awesome. Oh, this one goes till 6 with him? Okay, dang it. That's the thing I got to learn on the other stuff.
I know there's some breaks like your bottom of the hours, like your 30 sweeps, it's longer. You'll have like 2-ish minutes.
Okay.
But for like this one. Hey, we got the bread.
God, that sounds so weird. I hate that.
No, you
Whenever you hear your own voice, it's just.
Always said that too. I've been on radio 15 years, and especially when I first listened to my first ear test, I'm like, oh, Lord, why did somebody put me on the air? I'm surprised Brian hasn't chimed in yet in the comments.
He's asleep soon.
LSU Elvis in the house. Somebody said, you saw that?
You don't know what that is, do you? Google it. Google it. See what happens. Type it in. Type it into Google and see what pops up.
Type it in.
It just Google, just look it up, like on your personal Google there.
Well, I know who Elvis is. It's just not. Oh, you give people to smile and laugh, and if you pick your colors and opportunities, right, you get them in the LSU Elvis.
I don't know what you're looking at.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Did you just type it in?
Yeah, I did.
Are we coming back?
Yeah, look. It's giving me a voicemail. Let me try to call it again. I might have to fire you off.
Okay.
So I can give them one phone. Hey, Mark. Hey, good morning. This is Lynn. Good morning. Talk 107.3. We're gonna come to you in less than 30 seconds. Okay. That's funny, LSU Elvis.
Good morning. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin filling in for B. Bree Lynn on the board. Our next guest of just our Monday of great guests is going to be Mark Romig with New Orleans and Company. Mark, good morning. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. How you doing this morning, Dixon?
Oh, man, listen to that sweet, sweet voice of Mark Romig, everybody. Wow, there it is. So, Mark, wanted to have you on this morning to talk a couple things. Of course, the great work you're doing down at New Orleans and Company, Sugar Bowl coming up, and then maybe we'll talk a little voice of one stadium to voice of another stadium. But let's first talk about the Sugar Bowl coming up in New Orleans. The great thing, Ole Miss versus Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be a fantastic game, sold-out game at the Superdome. How much has New Orleans benefited from the Sugar Bowl being down there and all the work y'all are doing for that?
Well, Dixon, thank you very much for having me on this morning. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Kickoff is on Thursday, January 1st at 7 p.m. at the Caesars Superdome. This will be the 12th time Georgia plays in the Sugar Bowl and the 10th time. Well, they played 12 times before. This will be the 13th and then the 11th time for Ole Miss. Classic matchup, obviously. Great SEC matchup. And the economic impact of the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans is extreme. It's a year-round impact because there are many events throughout the year, but particularly around the end of the year, as the visitors come into the city, they're spending at the attractions, the restaurants, the hotels. And New Orleans has always been ranked as one of the top places to be for the holidays. And, of course, the Sugar Bowl makes it even more special.
And I know one thing, having worked a few Sugar Bowls and some Super Bowls down there as well, people love that in New Orleans, you can walk from the Superdome to your hotel, to all the restaurants. In other cities, they just don't have that, and it's what makes New Orleans very special.
Oh, yeah, it's the walkability of the city. It's why we have these big events here in this part of Louisiana, particularly with the Super Bowl just proved that terrifically this past year. But the Sugar Bowl, one of the oldest bowls in the bowl history around the country, proves each year that it's a great place to visit, a great place to see sports. And the Superdome, as you know, has been through some major renovations over the last several years. And it is a great place to sit and watch the action.
Of course, but one of those renovations they didn't make, are you still up in the bird's view way up there, or did they finally move you down a little closer?
We're actually in the third level,
Okay, good,
300 level, right at the northwest end zone. And it affords a very good visibility. My dad, Jerry, was the announcer for 44 years, play-by-play. And he started at Tulane Stadium and then moved to the Superdome. And then this was my 13th season. As they say, God's blessings, I'll be back for the 14th season next year.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you. And it's one thing I wanted to ask you about. I've done a couple of LSU basketball games for the NIL where it's supposed to be a neutral. So technically, you're supposed to be neutral for the Sugar Bowl, I guess, the Rebels versus the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
How do you adjust that versus your typical being pro Saints inside the Superdome?
Well, I'll bring a little extra emphasis when either Ole Miss makes a first down or Georgia makes a first down. Same thing with their touchdowns or field goals. And balance it out because you're right. You need to be playing neutral. When I'm, announcing the Saints games, I can hit those move them chains or it's good or first down Saints with a little extra emotion, as you know well that you do up at Tiger Stadium for the Tigers, and it's all part of being the hometown announcer, right?
Yeah, you gotta love it. So of course, Sugar Bowl's happening. What are some big New Year's events that are gonna be happening down in New Orleans? I know all the hotels will be packed, but is there anything unique that New Orleans is doing this year for the New Year's?
Of course, we have the annual Sugar Bowl parade, which is at 2 p.m. on New Year's Eve. It starts at Decatur in the French Quarter and goes down through the French Quarter to Canal Street. Always exciting. You've got the two bands from the college teams marching along with their cheerleaders, and we have various floats. Fireworks at midnight on New Year's Eve. We bring in 2026 on the riverfront. Great fireworks show. And, of course, just the festivities of all the walking around the city, the French Quarter, the Warehouse District, Magazine Street. It's filled with people, and the Ole Miss fans and the Georgia fans, they know how to party. Not as good as the LSU fans or the Saints fans, but we'll take them.
Yeah, the SEC schools, everyone knows how to do it. So, Mark, I want to ask you kind of a personal question here. I've been watching some TikToks and Instagram. This chef's been going around asking people like, "Hey, what's your ideal food day like in New Orleans?" So I want to just I know that wasn't expecting for you, but what would be a Mark Romig ideal food day in New Orleans? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe dessert. What you going with?
Yeah, that's it's a good personal question, and I just did it the other day. I started breakfast at NOLA Cafe, which is in the Carrollton, Tulane area. Then I would go over to Parkway Bakery and have a po' boy, one of the great po' boys they have there. Probably get into the French Quarter, mix it up with a little, beignets and cafe au lait before I head into one of the great restaurants of the city. Now, that's where you get me in big trouble because if I name one, I'm going to have to name about 500 other ones.
Yeah.
So pick your case tonight. I'm going to eat at Arno's. Tomorrow night, I'll be at Commander's Palace.
Shucks. Being the voice of the Saints, everybody.
I'm also having to run around a lot to lose all this weight.
Calories don't count this time of year, Mark, and we need that for our voice. You need the calories for your voice. So I'll give a shout out to Ye Old College Inn. We love going to Ye Old College Inn over there.
Ye Old College Inn, great. Johnny Blanchard does a great job, but I'm usually there on Thursday nights.
On Thursday nights. Well, next time I'm in town on Thursday night, I'll come hit you up. So, hey, folks, if you got nothing to do coming up, head down to New Orleans. Go listen to Mark call the game for the Sugar Bowl. He's got Mardi Gras duties coming up, Sugar Bowl duties coming up, Saints games throughout the year. Mark, we appreciate everything you're doing for New Orleans and Louisiana. Have a blessed New Year, my friend.
Thank you, Dixon. Same to you, buddy.
That was Mark Romig with New Orleans and Company, the voice of the Superdome. When we come back after this, Dr. Laprouse with FMOL, Allelo Lake Health, to talk about all the great things they're doing right here on Talk 107.3. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, there's an Instagram I've been following. This guy interviews all these chefs, and I've to the chefs, yeah, and they can't pick their own restaurants, and so they talk about, hey, who's an up and coming chef you want to go try? What's your ideal day look like? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's pretty cool. I might start doing it here in town. I go talk to Jim at Mestizos. All right, Jim. Where's something you haven't been yet? You can't pick your own. Yeah, which makes it, gives them a chance to shout out other people. I did not. I'm sorry. Coming up. Okay. Doctors. Yep. Oh, really? Sure. Nope, but works for me. Yeah. That worked out kind of nice. Okay. Hey, welcome back, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin filling in for Bree Lynn on the board. It's a great Monday after Christmas, last Monday of the new year. We were just jam-packed with lots of great guests everywhere around us. Bree, so far, great show and many more great guests to go.
I think so, too.
Do you think Brian has ever put together as great of a lineup as I've put together today?
Not back to back to back. When you came in, Dixon, you're like, all right, you ready? And then you kept firing off names. He kept firing off times. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, this dude's ready to rock.
Ready to rock and roll. TCB on the Lisa Marie, taking care of business. We're going to take care of some business now on this Medical Monday. Oh, the button's over here.
You first.
I first. Me first what? Welcome in. Welcome back. Medical Monday. Allelo Lake. FMOL.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. No, you're good. You're good.
I can go to Mark?
Yep.
Oh, I was like, I don't know if we have a little bit there, what we're doing. So glad to bring in now Dr. Mark Laprouse. Doc, how you doing this morning? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Dixon? Thanks for having me.
Hey, first off, Doc, before we get to medical stuff, how about a shout out to your parents who just celebrated 50 years of wedding bliss? So shout out to Mama and Pop Laprouse, 50 years of wedding bliss.
Pretty amazing stuff.
My mom just sent me that one. Of course, our parents go back to their college days together. So pretty awesome stuff. So, Doc, I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was Medical Monday on Brian Haldane's show. I just wanted to have you on to talk about all the great stuff that FMOL, Allelo Lake Health, are doing right now, and really just pull that string on the back of your back and let you go and talk about all the great things y'all are doing over there. What's happening and how awesome is it?
I mean, there's a lot of buzz in FMOL health right now. We're led by EJ Kuiper. If you've met him, he's infectious.
Yep.
Our Lake Regional Medical Center, we're led by Chuck Spicer, best personality on the planet. Great guy that has really elevated the medical staff and the care in Baton Rouge. So couldn't be better in Baton Rouge right now with health.
Yeah, EJ, of course, I'll give him a shout out. He lives in District 68, so proud. Don't know if he voted for me, but I know he does vote in the district, so always got to keep him happy over there as well. Then, of course, you have on your government relations team Ryan Cross, who just does a great job keeping everybody informed of everything. And you got some big projects coming up for FMOL Health. Of course, the partnership with LSU, all the things y'all are doing with athletics, but a new emergency room, I believe, is coming on board and might be soon to the Baton Rouge area. Is that correct?
It sure is. It's a really big project, but it's a really important project. We have a responsibility to this community as the Level 1 Trauma Center, the Comprehensive Stroke Center. We are the busiest emergency department in the state, and we kind of outgrew our space. And so a couple years ago when Chuck arrived, he decided this is a really important project. We have to do it. And it's taken a couple of years to plan it. With the architecture firm out of Dallas, Perkins and Will. But we've designed a space that is functional. It's going to add over 20 more beds. And the environment in the emergency department is going to start matching the quality of care that's being provided inside the department.
So something you mentioned there, and let's explain it for the people that are tuning in around the world right now, of course, on the greatest Monday, Brian Haldane show without him of all time. Level 1, what does that mean exactly, and why do you mention it like that?
Well, there's different levels based off of the amount of resources that you have. Level 1 is the best. So there are 3 Level 1 trauma centers in Louisiana. So we've got one in New Orleans, Shreveport, and then in Baton Rouge, of course. And so that means that we have all the services that you need in the building, ready to respond to anything that happens. And so not only those that are just coming in off the streets or from their homes in Baton Rouge, but those from other facilities that don't have those resources, they're being transferred to us to take care of them. So we have trauma surgeons in the building, we have neurosurgeons in the building, orthopedists in the building, vascular surgeons, and obviously, best emergency department crew in the state.
I mean, no doubt about it. Believe me, I've seen them all. You're unbelievable. The very, very best. Dr. Mark, unbelievable. So also, I mentioned the partnership with LSU. I think in this new ER, isn't LSU getting involved as well with some of their students?
Oh, absolutely. So not only are we the home of the LSU Baton Rouge residency program, so we pump out 12 emergency medicine physicians a year. We try to recruit them for the state to stay in the state, either in Baton Rouge, but some of them go elsewhere because they came from elsewhere and they're going back home and they know this is the best place to train. But something that was really, really neat during the design phase of this renovation, Anne-Marie Marmon with the Allelo Lake Foundation, she reached out to LSU and connected me and the rest of the team with the interior design department. And they chose last year one of their semesters to have their semester project to be the emergency department redesign. And 16 students, they focused the entire semester on this project, and they created some really fabulous designs that we're going to incorporate into the final product.
Man, that's fantastic. Getting the students involved, and in the future, that can be part of their portfolios going forward on everything. Really neat to see that partnership. So Dr. Laprouse joining us with FMOL, Allelo Lake Health. Doc, when you do this design and you're trying to find this space, y'all are traveling around, I would assume, to other emergency rooms, maybe around the state, around the South, the country. What was maybe something that you saw that you brought from somewhere else that you think is really going to benefit the Baton Rouge community?
Well, you're absolutely right. We did travel around. I have a lot of colleagues around the country in emergency medicine, so I did some individual travel myself. This firm Perkins and Will out of Dallas, they're best in class, and they've designed some of the best departments and hospitals around the country. What we noticed is just the flow. If you've been in our emergency department, it's not we're not lacking for space. We're a football field of square footage. It's poorly laid out because it was added on over time. Before Earl K. Long closed down many years ago, we were just a relatively small or medium-sized hospital and emergency department, and now we're the premier emergency department in the state. So what we learned is what's the right flow. Not every single patient that comes to an emergency department is super sick, needing to be on a stretcher or on a monitor. So we created spaces that are going to allow patients to check in and then come into the department to get their blood work, to get their x-rays, to get their EKGs, and they might not need to ever be in a monitored room. They might need to be just in a treatment care area where we can see them more quickly and get them back to work, back to home, back to their families.
Of course, it is the holiday season, so of course, weather and sickness right now. What are you kind of seeing right now? What can folks do to have better health this holiday season with the weather changing? What are some of Dr. Mark Laprouse's key to success so everyone can be as healthy and as good looking as you are?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Well, right now, obviously, there's a surge in flu. Louisiana, we typically lead the country in surges like this. So just because we're just really social and we're getting together and we're in close quarters. So if you're sick, stay home. If you're sick, put on a mask. If you're sick, wash your hands. And then it's probably a good idea for anybody else that's out in the public to just wash your hands and kind of keep your distance from people that are coughing, so we don't spread diseases like the flu. But it's really starting to ramp up right now. Otherwise, it's really about taking care of your health. Getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, trying to eat healthier if you can. Things out of bags and boxes, typically processed, and they can create inflammation and increase weight and stuff like that. Anything you can do to just improve your day-to-day, you'll be mentally stronger, physically stronger, and then hopefully be able to better serve your families and your workplace.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And thank you for all the work you're doing over there at the emergency room. So I kind of want to ask, because I have a friend that works emergency down in New Orleans. I don't even know if you're allowed to do this, but was there a unique case you did this year? I don't even know if you're allowed to talk about that, but was there any funny story or any unique thing that you encountered this year for the folks at home listening to maybe give them a laugh?
Well, we always see some unique stuff in in emergency medicine. It's a 24/7 business. The lights never go off. I don't know how we keep the floors clean because there's always somebody in every single room that we have. We never know what's behind that curtain. So that's one of the most interesting things about emergency medicine is that we just have no idea. So it's a field built for someone with ADHD like myself because you just never know what you're going to see that day. But we have interesting traumas. We have interesting foreign body stories. But we have some of the most complex medical cases. That's what people don't really realize. They think it's all about surgeries and traumas when you talk about emergency medicine, but it's really about congestive heart failure and brain bleeds and different disease processes. So we see some really interesting stuff. This is a very complex hospital, complex emergency department. We receive transfers from patients all over the state. So the sickest patient in every emergency department outside of New Orleans and Shreveport comes to our Lady Lake because we welcome them with open arms and we have the expertise to take care of them.
And that's what we're going to have on Secretary Glen Ledet later is to improve our traffic. So we make sure we get them there quicker and safer for you as well. So Doc, another question for you, something holiday season. A lot of people are watching Netflix shows, watching movies, watching things. In your opinion, what is the most accurate show and or movie to what you actually do in the ER? Is it ER? Is it Grey's Anatomy? Is it Scrubs? Which one, if someone were to watch it or you were to watch it, what's the most real one out there?
Well, things have changed a little bit recently, so my answer has changed as of this past year.
There we go.
I grew up watching ER, and that was always fun to watch. I think that's why I ended up going into emergency medicine, but it wasn't truly accurate when you go back and look at it. When you look at Scrubs, it's one of the funniest things out there. But there's a lot of accuracy in the day-to-day at a hospital. But most recently, it was the pit. Okay, so the pit
Gotcha.
it's a real life enactment of a shift. The only thing that I can say that's really different, because we encounter all of the different scenarios that are on the pit, we just don't encounter them in one 12-hour shift. So all the little things that you see, those happen in our day, our month, our year in emergency department. I don't think they gave a real fair shake to the administration. Administrations are what keep hospitals going and keep our staff happy. And I don't think they depicted them as well. So a shout out to EJ and Chuck, Logan, Austin for all they do to keep our place running smoothly.
Well, that's okay. So the pit. So go check out the pit. That'll be the new one to go check. I'd always heard Scrubs, even though it was hilarious, was one of the more accurate ones of just kind of the craziness of everything that's happening over in the ER. So the pit, we'll have to go check that one. I think it won an award recently too. I'll have to look that up in our break as well on that one. So on the new ER that's coming together now over at FMOL Health, Arley the Lake, what's our expected ribbon cutting day, Doc? Do we have that in mind of when it's going to be complete?
Yeah, so first we have to start, okay? So it's been a couple of years in planning.
Yeah.
We're in the pre-construction phase right now. And so the second week of January, we didn't want to start over a holiday season because there's extra added challenges during that time. But so the second week of January, we're going to officially start our construction. And it's going to be a 2.5-year process. Broken down into 3 different phases. And I don't want anyone to be concerned about the construction and increased delays. We're going to close down 24 beds for phase 1, and I've opened up 24 beds. The hospital was gracious to let me take over some old ICU space that was going to be converted to a different unit. They're going to pause on that project so that we can have a safe place to operate out of operate in the emergency department out of. So we're not going to miss a beat. So don't be worried about seeing construction. We're going to have complimentary valet parking. So you come up, you hand us your keys. We're going to take care of you, and then the care is going to be the same as if it was today. So there's really no concerns about our phased out project.
Yeah, of course. I think that's when you talk about over a 2-year process getting that done. It can be done in a much shorter window, but if you did that, you might lose some beds. So you spread it out. So you don't lose the care of service that we're used to when we head over there on Essen Lane to FMOL Health, Arley the Lake. So, Doc, final thing, I'll just ask you, kind of maybe this might do it to the rest of our segment here, but you're busy all the time. You're over there on Essen, District 68, greatest food district in the state of Louisiana. Where does Doc go to eat to stay healthy? What's some of your favorite restaurants in town?
Well, it just so happens to be right in my neck of the woods, or a couple of them. I live pretty close to the Perkins Overpass area, so we've got a lot of great options there. Love all the add-ons that DeGiulio Brothers has made. But Building 5, I just love the atmosphere. It's a little something different. It's always popping. So whether you're sitting at the bar or sitting in the bar area or sitting outside, if it's a nice day or night, that's one of my go-tos when I have people coming in town.
Love that. Doc, thanks for waking up this morning and being with us. For the folks tuning in, hey, if you're in an emergency this holiday season or all of 2026, head on over to Arley Lake Health. Tell them you heard Dr. Mark Laprouse say he is the best emergency room doctor in the state of Louisiana. Best looking one. Go check him out. Top tier service. And make sure that Ryan Cross does your valet parking for you when you show up as well. So, Doc, thanks so much for joining me. Have a great holiday season and a happy 2026 to you.
Thanks, Dixon. Thanks. You're too kind.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. That was Dr. Mark Laprouse with FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake. Glad for what he's doing over there. When we come back after this break, really excited for our next guest. The athletic director of LSU Athletics, Verge Ausberry, will join me right here on Talk 107.3. All right, all right.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Kim. Hank Casserly says hello from the Bayou Dixon.
Uncle, it's my uncle, yeah. All right. How much time we have on this one? Until we come back. When do you call him? Did Verge's number come through? Did I get it? I didn't know if it went through or not. Let's see. Probably the first one, I think.
Hey, good morning. Is this Verge? Hey, this is Talk 1073. We're going to come to you in about 3-ish minutes, okay? Okay. Thank you. You have a good 13 minutes for this one.
Nice. This will be a good one.
You think? Just a hair.
Whoa, is that a yawn? No, 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 no. No, yeah. Whoa, whoa. Mm-hmm.
What a small world.
How you know her?
Just because of media, I know love her. I don't say I don't know her, but I know love her.
We've been married 2 years, 6 months, and 19 days.
Aww. Do you have any children?
Mm-mm. 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Hey, but that's kids. That's your kids. I have a German Shepherd in college being around, and he whines.
Ooh. My stepsister had one when she lived with me. They shed so much.
She yeah.
Whew.
Almost back.
Welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin filling in, Bree Lynn on the board. We've had a great day of guests and one I'm really excited for now. Let's welcome in the LSU Athletics Director, Verge Ausberry. Verge, good morning to you. How you doing, sir?
How you doing this morning, Dixon? Doing well.
Man, thanks so much for joining me. So let's just get the disclosure out of the way. This is going to be a very fun interview. I was Verge's former student worker, so I go way back with this man. So not going to be the hard-pressing issues that you might want, but Verge is my former boss, and want to talk with him about his role, leadership style, and everything that he's seen so far. So, Verge, congratulations, the 11th Director of Athletics for LSU. Been on the job, give or take, about 30 days now. What's it been like now in the big seat?
And Dixon, you were one of my favorite student workers also. Let people know that. Dixon, it's been a fast transition because, you know how things happen. And the first thing you have to do is hire. Most people don't have to come in and hire a football coach immediately when announced athletic director, which is really a huge transition for the department. I've done well. Like I said, I spoke earlier. I talked in my first press conference about LSU's not broken and how many great coaches and great people we have in the department already. But now we're looking to move forward and how we move the department forward in this new day, this new age. There's so many things happening with the transfer portal, with the NIL, and with different things that's happening in our business. How we move forward, how we be on the forefront. And that's something we continually do, is trying to be the best we can be and to do the best we could do. And my leadership style is let people do their jobs and hire the right people to do their jobs. I think, the LSU Athletic Department, a $220 million budget and over 300 employees, is too hard to micromanage.
Yeah.
And that's not my style. And as you know, you work with me before. I don't say work for me, work with me. People work with me. I want them to be leaders. I want them to make decisions. And, I'm there to help them make those decisions and help them get there over the goal line. What we have to do to be successful. I want LSU to be the best. I want it to be successful, and no matter what it takes to do that. That's my role as the AD, to sit there and not only help the athletic department, but help the university also. And we're the front porch. I say it all the time. We're the front porch. We're the window to the house, and it has to look good. And we have to do things in the publicity that we bring to the institution and to the young people, our brand that's so important to now students, who especially looking for institutions to attend. We have to do that. We have to help President Roos and Chancellor Dalton get to that level and other chancellors in the LSU system. That's what we're about as an institution. And that's why we talk about that alignment all the time. You have to have alignment from the board, from the president, from the chancellor to the AD to the coaches. All of us have to be in alignment in what we do. And you hear Coach Kiffin talk about that, and our coaches talk about that. We have that alignment. We have that support among our leadership at the institution.
And you mentioned, LSU right there, but also in the Baton Rouge community too. You've been a leader in the community for a long time, served on so many boards and everything like that. I was fortunate enough to be at Coach Kiffin's press conference. I love when he talked about you and the conversations you had, that it was come here and coach, and I'm going to stay out of your way. I love that. And that's kind of, I know, your leadership style that I've experienced as well. Is you put people in a position to be successful. You offer them guidance when they need it, tough criticism when they need it as well. But really it is go be the best version of yourself you can be.
Yes. We're LSU. I tell people, I see this a lot of times. A lot of times people in Louisiana, I'm from Louisiana, die hard from South Louisiana and North Louisiana. We're very hard on ourselves and say we can't do it, we can't win it. Skip Bertman talks about this all the time when he became baseball coach. Oh, I don't know if we could be the best. Well, yeah, you know what? We can be the best, and we are the best. And I want people to think like that, we LSU, you're one of the top universities in the United States. Don't let the negativity, people talk about, what we don't have. You know what? Well, we're not going to have some things, but you know what? This is what we do have. This is what we'll be the best at. And those are the things that you have to do, that I have to do as a leader of this program.
And so I was looking up. So, of course, you first started in athletics in 1991, I believe, under Joe Dean, then Skip Bertman, Joe Oliva, Scott Woodward, now yourself. Even this past weekend, Eddie Nunez over at Houston is an athletic director as well. But something I was thinking, Verge, is pretty unique about yourself is that you played athletics at LSU. And currently right now, I had to look it up. I believe Candace Story-Lee at Vanderbilt is the only other athletic director in the SEC that actually played at her school. And so you're one of the few that has that unique perspective. What do you think that brings to now this role for you as athletics director?
There's not many of us who've done that, and there probably won't be many. Ward Manuel in Michigan is one, another Louisiana native. It's very, in this new day and age, it'll be very difficult. But what it brings to you, the advantages you have, you know what it takes to win at those places. You've been there, you've done that. The expectations aren't too big for you. You understand what the expectations are from your fan base and from the people and from your institution. And you walk in, you know where to go. You know who does what, those type of things. So that's the advantage you have. And if you wore that uniform for the institution, the pride you have in that place. I have a lot of pride in LSU. I said something earlier. I will not fail you. I won't fail the LSU community, the LSU fan base. This is my job to make sure that LSU is the best, and that's what we do. It's not a personal thing about Verge. It's about what's best for LSU.
Yeah, I love that about you. Really unique thing. And you mentioned something too, Verge, on the NIL and the transfer portal. Another unique thing I think that you have that other athletic directors don't have right now is, your sons have been going through that right now. You've been living it not only from an administrator side, but from a parent side as well. What a super unique perspective you have with both of those hats on as well.
Yeah, you have to be a parent sometimes. You can't mix the two. I kept everybody saying, your son here, your son there. I keep it different. I have one son plays at Notre Dame. I have one son plays here, and he graduated. The most important thing for me as a parent is that I have a son graduate from LSU in 3.5 years in finance.
Yep.
Now, has his football career been where it needed to be and where he wanted it to be? No, it hadn't. So he might have to look for other opportunities, and that's fine with me. Because my thing is I have to get the best and the best players for LSU. I have a son that does very well at Notre Dame, and he's graduating next year. So as a parent, as parents, I look at it as, this is an opportunity for you to go to school and get a degree. And you did that, and you played. You might not play as much as you want to play, but that's the way the world exists. You have to compete, and you have to go out there and perform. And my job as a parent, I can tell people I keep it separate. This is my family, these are my kids, and this is LSU, and this is my job. And I want what's the best for LSU, and I want to win. I want to be, Dixon, like I talked about, all of our programs, all of our sports, 21 of our sports. I want to be competing in the postseason at the highest level and be competing for championships. And I think we have that opportunity. I think we have the opportunity this year. Because really all our sports start now in women's basketball. You see Kim Mulkey's doing, Jay Johnson, baseball, Jay Clark in gymnastics, men's, women's golf, and tennis. I think we have opportunities here. We possibly could be, in the top and win 2 or 3, maybe 4 national championships. We've had that opportunity. So that's where we want to be. But the big thing is, and all of our coaches know this, everyone knows this here, LSU football has to be successful.
Yeah, that's the big one. And, of course, you made it just a big hire. We're going to have board chairman Scott Ballard on later today to talk about a little bit of that search process and what went down with him. And he was on the sidelines. I saw at the bowl game this past weekend. Pretty great stuff happening. Yeah, so we had women's basketball last night. The women's team dominated. Men's basketball tonight. Women's basketball later this week. People think football season has ended on Saturday, that it's over for you, but that could not be further from the truth, is it?
Well, we have recruiting and we have the transfer portal right now, so that's a big part of football. But yes, most other than 3 of our sports, everybody's supposed to compete right now at the highest level. And you have men's basketball tonight with Southern Miss, an interesting game before they start conference here. There have been a lot of positive things coming out of that program, and I hope they continue to build and continue to win in that program. But that's what we do. We here too as athletic administrators and executives. So that's everywhere. If you miss that point, then you miss the boat. We're here to support and make sure they do the best they can. I learned that from Mark Emmert when he was president and chancellor here, and Skip Bertman, those type of guys, and Nick Saban. What's our jobs and what's our role? Is not to be the boss. It's about, how can we help you be successful? When I meet with coaches, when I meet with student athletes, that's the most important part. The student athletes, they're the actors. The coaches, they're the producers. And, we're the people who support. How can I help you win and achieve your goals? And how can I help you win and be the best athlete you can be at LSU? And that this is something that when you leave LSU, especially as a student athlete, you leave here as a better person. So those are our roles and those are our jobs as administrators.
Yeah, I saw the other day that Jack Joubert painting that he talks about, the student athletes there when the Cox Communications Center was opened up. And, one of the people in that painting is you. You've always been a big believer in the academic side of that, the Cox Communications Center, the Bengal Bells. I saw you at the Bengal Bells the other day, the support they've done for athletics in all those years. You're a graduate of LSU. I remember in the LSU locker room. I believe you were one of the first people to always put the graduate plaque up there to talk about how important it was to graduate our student athletes, not just here for the championships, but the championships in life as well, and what you're doing for all them.
Yeah, and they're the people who represent your institution. They're the people who represent your athletic department. They're the spokesmen out there for you. The people who've gone through the program, who've been here, and say, you know what, we're talking to young people out there about what LSU meant to them. That's very important. You know, you're talking to Ballard about the search process, and the search, it was a great search process that we had, and I kept them informed everywhere where we were. We got to, we met a few people on the trail and some very good coaches out there. But, we had to get the best person for LSU. And at that time, it was Lane. People talk about the process, how it went down. And like I said, we don't control the process, Dixon. With the signing day and the transfer portal day, the NCAA wants to move those dates, then they could do those. But it's part of the business model that we're in right now. Does everybody like it? No, don't like it. But you know what? It is what it is. And we had to do what's best for LSU.
Yeah, you got to play inside the rules that are part of the game right now, and those are the rules. And of course, Coach Saban has come out strongly against everything. Governor Landry wrote a letter, and I think there'll be some changes, and I hope you're part of that process, of course, having gone through it here at such a top institution. So great 2025 for you, Verge. What are you expecting? Maybe what are some New Year's goals for 2026?
We want to get better. We want to evaluate the whole department, do an assessment of the whole department. That's what we're doing right now. Meeting with all the executives in the department, and then start meeting with the coaches. I met with all of them already, but just we're going to continue a lot of meetings going on in 2026 and figure out where we could get better. We always have, especially with coaching changes, people don't realize the budget constraints that it does to the department. So we need to start looking at that very, very hard. And that's what we've been doing, where we're cutting at, where we're raising revenue. Everybody talk about cut, but, also where we could raise revenue at, where we could generate revenue. And when the revenue doesn't affect the fans' pockets. So we want to make sure that the fans are getting the best when they come to our events, the best security, the best fan experience, those type of things. We want them to have the best also. So where we could generate more revenue, I'm going to be very, very involved with the philanthropic fundraising and corporate sponsorships. Those are two areas that I love to be in, and people skills and working with people and working with the legislature and other people about how we could have more financing for LSU in different areas, different ways, and doing different type of financing to do things. The arena is something that's very, very big on our plate that we're looking at, and that'd be good for Baton Rouge and the community and for LSU. So those are the type of things that we're looking at, how we could get better, how we could grow. You can't just stay like, okay, we're good right now. No, I want to grow this thing. I want us to be number one athletic department in the country. I want our sports to be number one, the best they could be. So our thing is, we're not going to rest on what we've done in the past. The past is the past. Now we have to move forward. How do we get better? How every area we have get better. I don't care if it's the training room. I don't care if it's nutrition. I don't care if it's the weight room. We don't care what it is, track and field, whatever sport. How do we get better? And Coach, how do I help you? How do we help you? And all the executive team and all the leaders in the department and the managers and the directors, how do we help you make your area the best it could be? That's my job in 2026.
Love that. Merry Christmas to you, Verge. Happy New Year. Thanks for taking some time this morning with your former student worker and voice of Tiger Stadium. Appreciate everything you do. As always, go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Thanks, Dixon.
That was our athletic director, Verge Ausberry. We'll be back after this. Talk 107.3. Okay. So Allelo is going to be very short, huh? Should I move him to 8:30 maybe? I don't know if he can do it. Oh. What's the bottom of the hour mean?
You're going to have that one interview from 8:15 to 8:30. And then
We don't have an 8:30 interview.
we won't have anything from 8:37 to 8:50. You do have your 8:45, but we can skip this day in history, and you can have 8:06 to 8:12
Okay.
instead. That'll be a little bit longer for you. Yeah, if you want to push him back, and we could just we can even do this day in history now if you want. Coming out of this stop set, let's do this day in history.
I just texted him. He just sent me a clock thing.
Yeah, because this one going into the top of the hour is always short.
Yes, I need to relearn that from him of like all those different things. All right, let's see. He's texting back. He's going to be. So 8:06 or 8:30, which one's longer?
So I would say let's go ahead and do this day in history now because from 7:55 to 7:59, we only have like a good 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we can do this day in history now, and then from 8:06 to 8:12, you can have your interview.
We're still live on Facebook. I know we're live. It's okay. We're trying to figure this out.
No, we're not live on the air. Say hey. Everybody.
So what gives us more time with the great Father Michael Allelo? Is it 8:06 or 8:30? 8:06. So Father Michael Allelo, who's watching, 8:06, you're coming on. 8:06. Okay. Behind the scenes chaos. It's live. That's what happens. Ooh. I've not been fined by the FCC yet in my career. So 10 years in, no fine. Knock on wood.
I'm ready to go for this day. No yawning. I'm gonna run through this day in history, jump to birthdays on this day, deaths on this day, and then the national day today. And you can just banner with me.
Hey, welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane. Talk 107.3 FM. Bree Lynn and Dixon McMakin with you. Bree, I think it's time for This Day in History.
I think it is. I love it, though. When you open it up, you're like, mornings without Brian Haldane.
Yeah, it's the
every
best
single
line.
right. All right, let's get into it.
Go back in time.
I love all of Brian Haldane's openers. They're
That was a
just
good one.
They're just, I know. All right. So in 1940, the worst German air raid on London asked over 10,000 bombs, including, can't even say that word, but basically they're dropped on the city as part of the Blitz.
Whoa.
Yep. All part of World War II, I'm assuming. 1956, Elvis Presley made chart history by having 10 songs on Billboard's Top 100. These included Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, Don't Be Cruel, Love Me Tender, and many more.
We've
Know
had
all of them.
47 presidents of this country, only one king. God bless.
Right?
Elvis Aaron
God
Presley.
bless. I know. 1965, Thunderball, the fourth James Bond film starring Sean Connery, premieres in Tokyo, Japan.
Oh.
1972, Life magazine ceases publication, which I didn't know they started in the 70s.
Yeah, holy moly.
I know. 2007, Tom Brady sets an NFL record, throwing his 50th touchdown pass, and the New England Patriots becomes the first team in NFL history to finish the regular season 16-0.
16-0.
16-0,
That's how
yeah.
you say that
16-0.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Yep. 2010, Bon Jovi, Polestar reported that Bon Jovi, they were the highest earning touring act of the year in 2010, taking in $200 million.
Now, was Bon Jovi the one that did the blue M&Ms or the brown M&Ms? Was that him that used to do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Okay. And then, all the rage about her still is, and rightfully so. 2023, Taylor Swift was at number 1 on the U.S. chart with her album 1989.
Mrs. Kelsey.
I know. Well, what is it? Travis. Yeah. Travis Swift is what everybody kept talking about on the sidelines. Love it. All right. Jumping over the birthdays. Let's see if I can pull up my right little article. People born this day. Not really a whole lot of notable names, but you have Mary Tyler Moore. She was born 1936. Ted Danson, American actor from the TV show Cheers, The Good Place. That's really all I have as far as notability. Let's jump on over to deaths on this day.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Jimmy Carter, the 39th president of the United States and a Nobel Peace Prize, passed away December 29th back in 2024.
Peanut farmer from Georgia.
I know. And there's not really a whole lot of notable names, so I won't even jump through it all. You know how they always come out with these national days, which blows my mind. You got National Leg Day, National Breathe Day. Today is National Still Need to Do Day.
Still need to do that because it is the 363rd day of the year.
Right.
You got 2 days left to still get done all those things on that to-do list.
All right. Go ahead and get it done before the first of the year. All right. Coming up next, the 8 o'clock hour.
Mm-hmm.
Look, right here. You see that wire coming out? Good morning. It is Talk 1073. Hey, we're going to come to you in about 3 minutes, okay? Okay, thank you.
We don't have it here, so I don't know where it is.
I know it's big in Nashville, but
I'm a Canes guy. Starts now. It's been going on for 2 hours already on this first Monday after Christmas, the last Monday of the new year. Dixon McMakin filling in mornings without Brian Haldane, Bree Lynn on the board, and now welcoming into our show the very Reverend Michael J. Allelo, pastor at St. Aloysius, Baton Rouge. Father Allelo, good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, Dixon.
He's so pumped. Unbelievable. The enthusiasm from Padres.
Unbelievably excited to be waking up on my post-Christmas Monday with you. It's like Christmas morning all over again.
Oh,
the excitement is just riveting.
Appreciate that, Padre. So kind of you. Of course, pastor at St. Aloysius, where I go to school. And Padre, I just wanted to bring you on and talk about the Christmas season, how busy you were, all the other pastors in Baton Rouge, and how your 2025 went and what you're looking forward to in 2026. Let's first start with the Christmas season. Do you have a number of how many masses you actually had to do, how many hours you spent at the church?
Yeah, so for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I celebrated 5 different masses. We had 6 at Aloysius. We had the dueling 4 p.m. vigil on Christmas Eve, which is the mass that everybody seems to want to attend. I have no idea why that became a thing, but it's a thing here in South Louisiana. Everybody's got to go to 4:00 mass on Christmas Eve so that we can go then do all of our Christmas chaos after that. But it makes for a lot of fun. So I think we, between our two dueling masses alone, we figured we were close to 2,700 folks on our campus, which is quite a lot of folks just for two masses at the same time.
Now, do you get together with the other pastors around the area? Do y'all talk numbers like that? Do you send Father Cleo a message? Like, hey, I had more than you, or anything like that?
Yeah. There's always a lot of priest trash talk after the holidays to see who had more. It's good fun for everybody. That's when we get together for the post-Christmas meal. But we're still in the Christmas season. People forget that. They think it's a one and done. If you've taken your tree down, we got to talk. I went for a walk on the day after Christmas, and somebody had a tree outside already. I'm going, what are you people doing? Christmas isn't over. The reason there's the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, is because the season isn't over yet. I don't know what day we're on yet, but I think this might be the 5th day of Christmas.
Yeah, today is the 5th day in the octave of Christmas.
5 golden rings. That's what I got to do for the good old Christmas caroling assembly at St. Aloysius. Did you have that when you were there?
The assembly we did, the golden rings. I don't remember that part of it though.
So now evidently it has become tradition that each class has been assigned a day. So the 8th graders are the first day so that they can scream loudest 12 times. And now, since I've arrived, evidently the pastor has been given the 5 golden rings up. And there's Louis just saying hello to everybody in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, good morning, Louis.
He wants to go play outside in the wind and the crazy weather.
Yeah, right now, let's see, winds out of the north at 13 miles per hour. So be careful. Some limbs were down in our neighborhood. So Father Lello also lives down the street from me. Padre, when you drive by our house, you will see our Christmas tree is still up. But I just mentioned it in my last segment. I follow the Elvis Presley rules of Christmas, is that his birthday was January 8th. He kept his Christmas decorations up till his birthday. So we keep them up till the 8th every year, which does cover us for the full Christmas season as well.
It's true. I'll let you slide on that.
It's a good duel. When your mama's from Memphis, as you know, you can't have much slack way when it comes to the king.
Your dear mother, bless her heart for raising you and having to deal with you all her life. She's a special lady.
I think your mom is actually on that same list with you and your brother as well, right?
Because of my brother. Correct.
What did you get your brother this year for Christmas?
What did I get, David? Oh, he just ended up with some clothing this year. That's all he got. He did. You may have seen this. It's a typical wonderful Christmas gift from my brother. It was a wonderful. How do we say this online without anybody getting fined? It was one of those Christmas joke gifts where you have like 14 bolts that you have to undo for this little plastic box, and you keep taking it apart, and it's like a 10-minute little project, and then a finger pops up out of the box like a jack in the box. And let's just say it's not a thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's not a thumbs up. So that was this year's fun gift. My brother he's not great at a lot of things, maybe mortgages, Assurance Financial where he works. Maybe he's good at that. But Christmas gift giving that are comical or inappropriate, he's mastered that art through the years. He really has.
He's a good one. So, of course, Padre on social media, Padre Hooch. People can check out all your homilies, past homilies. I know I send you all the time. My favorite one is, how lucky are we to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard this holiday season? A lot of people experience the holidays for the first time without a loved one. And I know your homily from back then has helped a lot of people and helped me as well throughout the year. So appreciate all you're doing. Where can people find you if they want to follow you and check out your great homilies?
Yeah, so all the social media is out there. Padre Hooch, like you mentioned, the Twitter, the Insta, the Facebook. We've now put my homilies up on the Spotify.
Ooh.
So that's a new adventure. We're trying to get to where the young people are, as they like to say. But no, just trying to get God's word out there and help people in their journeys. Everybody's on a journey. And what I love about being a pastor and a priest is that I get to walk with folks, whether you've been away from church forever or you have no relationship with a church, just to wander with people on their journeys. It's a real gift of what I get to do every day. And, at St. Aloysius, we are so blessed. This year we have tripled the number of people that will enter the church at Easter from last year. which is just super exciting. And that group meets on Monday nights, and Monday's typically my day off, but hey, here we are because we love Jesus, right?
There it is.
But I don't normally get to spend time with that group because they meet on Monday nights, and it's kind of my one protected day for me. But I popped in the other day, and I got to tell you, there's nothing more exciting than going into a room with a bunch of people who are on their own journeys and trying to find their way. The excitement and the age from college age all the way up to folks in their later years. And it's just something about that. So if that's you right now, kind of searching or seeking for something, find a church. Come check us out at Aloysius. We'd love to welcome you in and help you on your own faith journey. And that's what Christmas is all about, really. I mean, be reminded, it's not about the presents. It's not about whether or not our trees are still up. It's about whether or not we have encountered our Lord in our lives. And a wonderful opportunity for folks right now, especially in Baton Rouge. Got a ton of great churches trying to help people find the Lord.
Appreciate you, Padre. Thanks for joining me this morning. Hope you have a blessed week and a happy new year to you. See you soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Right. Padre Hooch will be back after this. 107.3 FM. Let's see who's next. Glenny boy. Our text message of just contact.
I know, right? It's just all names. I know. If I ever need to text you for anything, all of us use names. You'll have a good. We'll probably come out of this at 16, and you're gonna have until 8:30. So
Nice.
Have a long sleep.
Good, good.
There's that man, Lord Rush.
I'm shocked he hadn't walked in here yet.
I know. Where is everybody? Damn. They're all like, no, we're not coming in today. Hi, is this Glen? Talk 107.3. Good morning. We're going to come to you in roughly 4-ish minutes. Okay, thank you. Probably less than that.
Hey, welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane, the last Monday of 2026. Dixon McMakin filling in for B with Breland on the board. Now, folks that are listening to us on the radio right now, you're stuck in traffic. You're traveling around right now. Hey, who is responsible for all of the problems in the state of Louisiana? Our next guest, Glen Ledet. I just dropped him. No, I clicked the wrong button. Call him back.
I got him.
No.
I got him.
Oh, man. Oh, that was such a good intro for him. He was going to be so mad I did that to him. Oh, dang it. Well, coming up is Secretary of DOTD, Glen Ledet, good friend of the program, good friend of the show. I just clicked the wrong button. Dang it, Dixon. Dang it. But no, we're not gonna bash him too hard. We're actually gonna talk a lot about all the changes we've made at DOTD and what his first 6 months are like. Hopefully he heard all that and tuned in. Let's see if he's there now. Glenn, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Good morning.
Did you get to hear your great intro?
I did. I appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome. So folks, we're going to take, actually, Glenn doesn't know this. We're going to take live callers now, 225-811-1049. Call in. You can bitch at Glenn about everything. No, I'm teasing. Sorry, we're not going to do that. So that would have been, we might have to do that one day, Glenn. That'd actually be we'll put Jacques up here. And of course, the commissioner of multimodal, Andrew Kilshaw, make them answer all those questions if we did that.
That would be great.
But hey, Glenn, thanks so much for joining me this morning. 6 months in on the job as secretary. How have the first 6 months been? Any challenges you've, of course, encountered? We know about those, but talk about maybe some of the positives you've seen in your first 6 months as secretary and the work y'all are doing.
Yeah, it's a great point. We've had a good opportunity over the first 6 months to go around the state. We see a lot of passion, both from our employees as well as our local stakeholders and partners. And so I think everyone in the state is aligned to help fix our transportation issues really across Louisiana and help support economic development. And so I really see a passion for what we're doing. And so that's been really exciting. I think we've got a lot of great opportunities ahead over the next couple of years to help fix a lot of things that have really caused problems in the transportation infrastructure across our state, as well as project delivery. And so we're working hard over these last 6 months to do that. And so really just a lot of success that we've seen in the first 6 months. We've delivered a lot more work here in the last 6 months than we have historically at the department. And so we've got a lot of passionate employees and a lot of hardworking employees. And so it's been really good to see that and connect with them. And we're excited what's to come over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it was probably a good time for you to come in. Of course, you mentioned traveling around the state. That's part of the roadshow program that the transportation committees headed by State Rep Ryan Boriak, Senator Connick. You travel around the state. You hear from the locals in each district. And was there a theme, or I don't want to say a theme, but something that maybe came out of all of those meetings combined that maybe you didn't know going into them that now you know is something you're going to start working on?
Yeah, I think certainly just the amount of work that we've been able to do in preservation with the leadership from the legislature and Governor Landry, getting us some additional dollars outside of our traditional program funding. And that's been able to deliver really $500 million in critical projects over the last 24 months. And so just seeing the impact that work has had on our state in each of these districts has been phenomenal. I think the amount of public comments that we got just in favor of hopefully continuing that program, but really just the impact that it's had, both preserving our highways and bridges and then also doing major improvements that were needed, that were really backlogged throughout the last couple of years. And so the number of people that came forward in that roadshow to really talk about that was unbelievable.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Area 61, Josh Stutz. Of course, he manages the traffic and DOTD for my area, and got to be with you all at the committee that day, rip him a little bit of some projects that I've complained to him about. But he does, I see his passion. I get to call him directly. We talk all the time, some ideas that he looks into for me. And I know there's a lot of people like that as well around the agency. So, Glenn, let's say you had a blank checkbook. You had unlimited money. What would be Glen Ledet's first 3 projects he would want to get finished or done in a made-up world, blank checkbook? Which 3 do you think you would want to do as secretary?
Well, I think every region's got really significant projects that need to be done. I'd say obviously fixing traffic in Baton Rouge in the capital region is something that we think about every day. You and I living here, we see it and we feel it. And so doing projects like what was historically the bump, the Baton Rouge Northern Loop, and potentially a new Mississippi River Bridge are certainly top of mind, and finishing the widening that we're doing in Baton Rouge certainly would round out 3 projects just here in the capital region. But we've got significant efforts that need to be done around the state. We certainly have some important work on the I-12 corridor that needs to be done.
Yep.
really from the 10-12 split all the way to the Mississippi state line. And so we've got that. We've got efforts in Lafayette, the Lafayette intercity connector, as well as in Shreveport to finish I-49 are certainly important. So there's no shortage of projects. I could rattle on a list for days, but certainly those are significant efforts that we would like to see done if funding were no issue.
I'm not going to talk about the new bridge. I want to ask you something that I get a lot of comments about on the current, what we call the new bridge, the Horace Wilkinson Bridge, from downtown to West Baton Rouge. Several people always comment of, why did we not just add a bridge next to it, or why are we not making that one? I believe it's called a cantilever bridge, an up and bottom one. Can you kind of, I don't know if that's the right word. I'm sorry if that's not correct, but a top and bottom bridge. Can you just kind of touch on maybe just a little bit of why those two options aren't really viable for us and why we are looking at the new South Bridge as the spot?
Yeah, probably a number of options. Obviously, cost comes to mind first. I think that the improvements that would be needed in order to make that happen would be significantly expensive. I think obviously you've got, the entire capital region that's growing, and so you've got traffic in all areas, both on I-10 as well as north and south of there. And so trying to develop, I guess, infrastructure corridors for the future is something that we're always looking at. But certainly I think just the cost and the amount of effort that it would take to retrofit that is something that I think they looked at it at one point in time and realized that it would be extremely expensive to do that project. But certainly, really widening the I-10 corridor is important, but doing that type of effort that you just described would be difficult.
Yeah, it always comes down, as my economics teacher in high school said, the business dollars and cents, baby. It's all about the business dollars and cents. If we had more money, we'd get to it, and we'd get everything done quicker if we could. You and I are both kind of younger guys, Glenn, and we're coming up through it now with the chance to improve and be more efficient, more effective. I've seen that in your office. What about some of those changes that the legislature made this past session and kind of reorganizing and retooling your office? Have you seen that so far lead to your office and DOTD being more efficient, more effective when it comes to getting these projects done?
Yes, certainly. We've seen a significant improvement. Like I said, the efforts that we got, the additional $250 million for this Louisiana Transportation Infrastructure Fund that we received this last legislative session, we're delivering all of those projects on time and under budget. And so that's something that we haven't seen historically. We have the two new offices that came out of this transformation legislation. The first is the Office of Transformation, which helps drive all of these improvements throughout DOTD. And the second, which is kind of the cornerstone of this, is the Office of Project Delivery. And so streamlining execution of projects and making sure that we're staying on time and on budget is critical. And so we've seen that change here just in the last 6 months. And it's helping to really foster this new DOTD that you see out there every day.
And remind me, Mr. Chasson is running one of those. Is that correct?
Eric Dauphiné runs the Office of Project Delivery.
Okay. Where am I getting Chasson from? What part of the department is he part of now?
Oh, yeah. So you're right. So there is a third office that was created, and that is the Office of Louisiana Highway Construction. And so that helps to really focus on rural non-federal aid routes throughout the state. It's approximately 4,000 of the 17,000 miles that we have in Louisiana. And so his new office, Archie Chasson, is running that. And certainly that has been a really great collaboration, and he's doing a great job. But yeah, Archie Chasson is running the new Office of Louisiana Highway Construction.
All right, when you mentioned that number right there, 4,000 miles and 17,000 miles, what does that represent exactly?
So in the state of Louisiana, we have roughly 17,000 miles of state highways. Approximately 4,000 of those are non-federal aid, and the remaining 13,000 has some component of federal aid, where we work with the Federal Highway Administration to both administer those roadways as well as help fund that. And so DOTD is now, with this new office, able to really focus on that portfolio of federal highways. A lot of things that you probably see in in the Baton Rouge capital region are typically that federal aid,
right?
That national highway system, and so we do have a series of rural collectors around the state, and that is really that 4,000 number that I referenced.
I mean, I as a state rep, I have the third most interstate exits in my district, outside of downtown Baton Rouge and downtown New Orleans. Some parishes don't have any interstate. We have multiple interstates in our
That's
one
right.
parish. And so, 64 parishes, not everybody has an interstate system or a federal road in their area. So I think that's a great improvement. And he comes from working with locals already, being a parish president, I believe, and what he's doing. So that's great expertise that he brings to that position there. So, Glenn, what are you looking most forward to of 2026 of projects that are on the horizon? I know there's a huge closure coming up in January that I know you're pumped for, but besides that one, what else are you looking forward to in 2026?
That's right, Jason. As you referenced, we've got the closure of the Washington Street exit, which is part of the package of the I-10 widening effort, and so that will come in January. That's your late Christmas present that we're hoping to deliver. But yeah, we've got a number of efforts. I mean, on the big projects, like I mentioned, we'll hopefully receive the environmental approval for the I-49 Lafayette Connector project, which is a massive $1 billion effort in Lafayette to finish the I-49 corridor. And so hopefully we'll receive that from FHWA in the summer of this coming year in 2026, which will allow us to start on the implementation of that project. We'll also hopefully break ground on the important LA1, LA415 connector. That's that connector that will hopefully help improve traffic in West Baton Rouge, as well as we start looking towards, growing that region's infrastructure. And so a number of efforts. We've got the continuation of the environmental assessment on the Mississippi River Bridge, and then looking towards what we can do on the northern corridor, which we call the bump, doing a lot of critical work there to see the improvements that we can make on 190 and 61 as we go across the old Baton Rouge Bridge. And so just a number of big things, particularly in the capital region that I wanted to mention, as well as in Lafayette. And so a lot more to come in 26.
And PQ will be open on I-10 coming up this spring,
correct.
I believe. And that's been a project for a long time. Senator Rick Edmonds, definitely appreciate your work on seeing that one through to the finish line. He is our Secretary of DOTD, Glen Ledet. Glenn, thank you so much for your time this morning. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I look forward to complaining to you all of 2026, my friend.
Thanks, Dixon. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Bye, Glenn. Thank you so much.
Bye.
That was Secretary Glen Ledet of DOTD. A lot of work we're doing. We're trying, of course, if we have the money, we're going to use it towards our roads and our bridges. And he's a man on the job, keeping everybody in line, more efficient, more effective, making sure we get those projects to all the people around the capital region and Baton Rouge. When we come back, we don't have a guest at the 8:30 mark. Bree, what are we doing?
You're going to have to find something.
Find something to do at the 8:30 mark. So if you're on the YouTube page, Facebook, wherever, comment. Maybe we'll go to some comments, see if we can talk about that. But then at 8:45, we're bringing in the chairman of the LSU Board of Supervisors, Scott Ballard, to talk about the search that brought us head coach Lane Kiffin. We'll be back after this, 107.3. Oh, you know what I was going to look up? Cross my mind. Top movies of the year.
New Year's resolutions. To close out the evening? Just said we'll be calling him in 15. And he said, okay. I said, I'll call you now if I can. I'm waiting to see what he says. Maybe we just call him, and if he answers, great. If not, how much time until we do it? Yeah, he said, okay. Perfect. Yeah, great. In the face.
I'm good. Thank you for letting us get you early. We are going to be we're still about a minute out, and we're going to come to you. Okay, thank you.
I don't see the thing.
I'm going to get them back. I'm going to open you up, and let me get them back to the phone.
Oh, then now it's blinking. Oh, it's because it's. I got you.
Hey, welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Talk 107.3 Radio. Dixon McMakin filling in for Brian Haldane, Bree Lynn on the board, and we're going to move the hour up just a touch here, so we have a few more seconds with the LSU Board of Supervisors Chairman Scott Ballard. Scott, good morning to you. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Great
to be here.
Great to be with you. Of course, you are Brian Haldane's top guest today, St. Paul's, as he is from as well. He said, thank God I invited a St. Paul Wolf to come on the show today. So we're excited
Go Wolves,
to have you.
baby. Go Wolves.
So, Scott, this is now is your second time being on the LSU board, but this time has been a no-stop, not action all the time. You've hired a new head football coach. We have a new athletic director, had on Verge earlier today, a new president, a new chancellor. You're also CEO of your company, PJs and Wings, and all the things you're doing. People ask me all the time, I'm going to ask you, when do you sleep?
Man, I tell you, my wife, Christy, who you know well, asks me the same thing often. I tell you, since all those things you mentioned, we've hired them, I have slept a lot better. But sleeping the last 6 months have not been as much as I'd like, but I've got a few better sleeps in lately.
Yeah, so, that's what it takes, the leadership of, what it takes to make sure our flagship is the best it can be, and your leadership on the board. So wanted to bring you on today and kind of talk about really any insight you can tell us to the people of, what it's like. Most people will never get to be on the LSU board, and definitely not part of a head coaching search for LSU. You've now done it twice. So what has that experience been like, and what was it like the previous time? What was it like this time, and any differences of hiring Lane Kiffin?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, I've had the pleasure. I say it as a pleasure, as I know you agree, to represent Louisiana State University as our flagship. And I always say this, so goes our flagship, so goes the rest of the state. And so it's important that we get it right. And like anything in life or any organization that you're running, there's a lot of moving parts. It's $3+ billion budget. We've got several campuses with LSU Alexandria, LSU Shreveport, LSU Eunice, the medical center up in Shreveport, the medical center in New Orleans, which, protects our state, both from a health perspective, a workforce education perspective. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we also have the LSU Tiger sports, and that's men's and women's across the board, whether it's gymnastics, winning national championships, women's basketball, men's basketball, having a great year. Of course, football, not what we wanted, so we made changes, and I think that we made the right changes, which we'll talk about shortly. So, look, last time, I had the pleasure and workload to hire Coach O when we had to let Les Miles go, won a national championship, and hopefully we have the same formula here, Dixon. Look, these are good people who, when they hired Coach Kelly, I'm sure they had best intentions in mind, and I'm sure Kelly had his best intentions. It didn't work out for whatever reason. We needed to make changes. We made the changes. I think we got the best coach in the country, and that's what LSU is. We are the best. I think Lane Kiffin said it best. He said there are two, at least in his words, there are two schools that stand out above all. And to him, that's Alabama and LSU as it relates to football, what he does for a living. And I think he's right. I said, from a branding perspective, but also from an expectation. And we knew from day one who we wanted. Like I do in my business, Ballard Brands, sometimes you have to go after something and you have to stick with it. If you believe in it and you have conviction for it and you're a good leader. We had a governor and others who truly just said, let's go out and do the best we can. And we did, and we stayed with it. And we saw some coaches taking jobs. We saw Florida moving and others who wanted Glen as well. But we knew we'd get them. We knew we wanted them, and we knew we were the best school in the world. We truly knew that. And we've proven that to be true to all those doubters.
And, at his opening press conference, I love that he talked about, when he got off the plane, he mentioned you being there and all the support staff being there. And I almost had the feeling he's never felt that before. He's never felt that everyone that was part of the program was all in and supporting him. And I really felt a sincere appreciation for him. And I know you've You've talked to him a few times as well. I've told him twice now, hey, coach, and he's told me, hey, back. And I'll have more talks with him as the season gets closer. But you've had those interactions with him. What's he like? I know it's 8:42, so he's already been up for about 4 hours this morning, tweeting. The guy never sleeps. He's always up.
Never sleeps.
What has your
You think I
interaction
don't
been
sleep?
like?
The interaction. Lane texts me often. He's an idea guy. He's an entrepreneur. And can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. He's an entrepreneur. And so at the end of the day, he is with ideas. He is always coming thoughts. And that's what it's going to take to be great. I don't care if you're in business or your coach, which is a business. That's the interactions have been that he is hyper focused. He doesn't like a lot of us don't like some of the changes in college football. It needs to change. Many people in our industry, from coaches to governors to leaders of states to probably yourself, NCAA needs to get a hold of this calendar. NCAA needs to, we got to start governing. I know Steve Scalise and Mike Johnson are trying to put legislation in place that helps with this. But Lane is going to go and work with the tools given to him, and he's going to be the best at it. I truly believe that, which is part of why we hired him. He may not like all of this, how it's all spread out right now, but Lane's going to take the rules given, and we're going to go be the best at it come January 2nd in the portal.
Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about Athletic Director Verge Ausberry about. This is currently the game we play. And you may not like the rules, but they are the rules. And you got to play to the best you can while you have that opportunity to do it in there right now. So back kind of to the search and maybe some background on that without, you can't disclose everything. But, do you have to, when you're going out and searching for these coaches, do you have to get on the road and travel, or, in today's line of work, is it more phone calls and Zooms versus, actually traveling? And, a lot of people on Tiger droppings were tracking all these planes going everywhere. And I have a great story of one of the planes that came from Ole Miss, came to LSU, had nothing to do with the search at all. It just happened to be a plane. I knew who was on it, but it was, it was mentioned. So, how does all that work? If you can, whatever you can disclose on that end for the people tuning in.
Sure. Listen, I was laughing. So in the middle of this, I was at dinner in Dallas with my daughter. My daughter lives in Dallas, and we're sitting there, and literally across my phone, her phone actually, and my phone as well, but she's the one who pointed it out. She said, "Dad, look, it says you just landed in Birmingham, confirmed by ESPN." And literally, and I'm sitting and the funny part, Dixon, is it's one thing to have rumors, to your point. It's another when they say confirmed.
Right.
Verge Ausberry, Scott Ballard just got off the plane in Birmingham. I'm like, well, that's not, you couldn't have confirmed that. but the point is you travel less, to your point. So with Coach O and all of that, when we were looking at Herman and Coach O and all the other people, we traveled more. And in this case, you have some travel with the AD and some of the support staff to get some things, but most of it, the vast majority, 95, 92% is done obviously with the agents on the phone, and I would say fax, but we don't fax anymore, So, and so that's the answer to your question. You don't travel as much. There are those planes until you were bringing in Lane or bringing in his family. It was smoke screens at best, or just flat out not true. You know what I mean? Families still want to visit where they're going, and that, as you're aware, and people are aware, that's when you start having traveling. But to go see Lane, look, I always said this. I said this about our search for president and chancellor, and I say this about coaching. But you say it about any leader that you're going to hire. And I'll use a sports analogy. If you got Babe Ruth wanting to come play for you, do you really got to go ask Babe Ruth what his resume is?
Right.
You know what I mean? you either can use Babe Ruth or you can't. And when you have people like Lane Kiffin, love him, hate him, whatever, he's got a record. And and it's well public, and you either want that system, process, recruiting arm, strength, who is a tutelage of the, we're a little biased for some of the greatest, right? Which is Nick Saban. And the answer was yes. So you don't need to go and sit down and talk to him per se and figure out what his strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
It's pretty well known what those are. So you don't travel as much, Nick Dixon. That's a long way to say that.
Yeah, as we close it out here, Scott, 2 minutes ago, I mentioned that talking to Verge about, his strengths being a student athlete, working under all those ADs. You being on that previous search committee, having to talk to Jimmy Sexton, he already knew you probably. What a strength that was in this search process for us, that it wasn't like he was working with somebody new. You'd already done this before, and he had already, he sees Scott Ballard. Oh, I know exactly what this is about. It's not a random number that he's talking to. So one of the strengths that happened for us in this process, and you being there. So, Scott, as we close out, one more minute with you here, is 2025, a great year, a lot of changes, and now we get to see the fruit of those changes coming to LSU. What are you looking forward to in 2026?
In 2026, listen, it was a lot for a board chair, for our board, who did a great job, not only supporting me as chair, but supporting all the things that a board needs to support. So the Board of Supervisors needs a shout out. Also, all of the staff and others who work hard. Listen, Dixon, we didn't have a president for several months. We had a great interim in Matt Lee, who's now back to being the dean or the vice president of ag, which he does a great job. He was a great candidate, and so lucky that we got to keep him. But I had to be a part of a lot of day to day. We didn't have a president. We were changing our system to vice president of the system, which needed to happen.
Right.
The president, we hired a rock star president. We hired a rock star chancellor. We had a rock star coach. We got a rock star athletic director. So I'm proud. If my day ended today, I think that at least I'd have a little line in there that I was part of building what I think is going to be the greatest team that LSU has ever seen. Dalton has more academics behind him than any academia that we ever hired. Bruce is the first president that we hired that was from Louisiana, from our culture. He is going to raise money. He is going to unite people. Him and Dalton get along great. That's what it takes at any organization. But the LSU organization, I like to call it the enterprise. The LSU enterprise is great days ahead, but in research and academics and athletics, both men's and women's. So, Dixon, the area that you represent as the state rep, better days are ahead, my friend.
Appreciate you, Mr. Chair. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, go Tigers.
Same to you. Bye, buddy.
That was our chair, Scott Ballard. We're going to close out Mornings Without Brian Haldane after this. All right. Verge. I couldn't tell he was in his car or what was going on. Perfect. That was wonderful. Yeah, that was a great call.
Tomorrow we have a lot of guests. You're gonna have a whole lot of guests.
I'm not here tomorrow.
You're not gonna be here. Oh, we got Haggai tomorrow. Yeah. That's a Haggai question. You know Haggai.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We've done it together before.
Yeah, Lane, when Lane did that, I was like, I just want to run on the window and be like Coach O and go Tigers.
I died when he did that.
That was awesome.
He's like, I'm trying to channel my inner Coach O. I loved when he was leaving the airport. He rolled down his window into the fans. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because you had to know where that was, because that's a different part of the airport.
I know.
And so, people always Tiger droppings knows everything. It is getting a little colder. What's the rest of your day look like?
Well, I'm going to do post show for Brian, add some stuff on the website, so you'll see all your stuff coming up shortly. And then I'm going to figure out how to handle our promotional meetings better going into 2026.
Okay.
Right now, it's all over the place. So I'm going to do some research. Michelle's out this week. She's doing a lot of reorganizing at her house, a lot of New Year's cleaning. So I'm like, so it's going to be pretty quiet.
Need to text her that hanger method.
I should. I never would have thought, because you know how much clothes I truly don't wear.
But like you don't know it. Like, you need to physically see it not being used. Like you can kind of say I don't use it, but like when you have the hanger looking at you, you're like, I literally haven't worn that for a whole year. So that's a whole year. That's a whole seasons of events, weather.
And you know how much downsizing I can do to my closet? Because women just in general, we own too much clothes.
Yeah. No, I'm just as bad. But if you combine that with the one, if you put something on, you don't feel good in it.
Right.
We don't need headphones for this, do we? Show my hair off. Welcome back. Final couple minutes here. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin, Bree Lynn on the board. Thank you all so much for letting me fill in for you. The last Monday of 2025. First Monday after Christmas. Want to thank all of our guests, David Heroman, Coulter McMahon, Mark Romig, Dr. Mark Laprouse, Verge Ausberry, Michael Allelo, Glen, Ledet, Scott Ballard, all for joining us this morning. What a great list of people. And Bree, thank you so much for your help. Great
Of
time with you
course.
this morning.
We
Appreciate
finally
it.
figured out how to work the phone over there. I'm never on that side of the board. That's Brian's territory.
And I'm
so-
never on that side of the board.
Right.
So there we go. And, chickens with our heads cut off there for a little bit, but we got it done. The folks that were watching today were sending me in. They said they were appreciating watching the behind the scenes of the chaos that sometimes is live radio.
Right. I know. And then here I am in the camera, and it's been a fun day. We're going to have Haggai Davis holding things down tomorrow. Brian's taking the week off. He's probably sleeping still.
Yep. Oh, he'll find out about everything we messed up today and all the great guests that we had that he normally can't get. That's always one of my goals, to get people that Brian can't get. Just to, just a little touch of using the Rolodex, just a little bit.
Right. So we're speaking about goals, and you wanted to talk about this topic, New Year's resolution, before we head out.
What you got?
So I have a problem saying no.
Okay.
I'm always the yes person.
Yep.
I can be dog tired and I just say yes. So here's what I'm thinking I'll do. Say yes slower, give myself 24 hours to sit on it, leave that text unread, which is hard to do, before committing to anything new. So let's say there's a birthday dinner or girls' night. If I truly have too much on my plate, let it sit for 24 hours. It's okay. It's not brain surgery, to where I don't always have to say yes. What about you?
So we had Father Allelo on. Father Josh Johnson taught me this one. Someone asks you to do something like that, tell them, I'm not sure. Let me pray upon it, and I'll get back to you. And he said, a lot of times they'll forget they even asked you.
Really?
Yeah. How about that one?
There
For a
you
little-
go.
for a little trick.
So for everything, I'm gonna pray over that. I'm gonna pray over
yeah.
that.
And then if you come back and say, look, I prayed upon it, the Lord doesn't want me to do that one this time. How are they going to argue against God?
Right. I know. And I have a friend, her famous line is, because she fusses me to slow down, but she's like, her famous line is, I don't know, I can't commit yet, but I'll get back to you.
Yes.
I'm like, ooh, but I can't do that. And she's like, but you can. So
Yeah.
my goal this year is to say, slow down and not overcommit myself.
Love that. Load. You have the fear of letting others down. You don't have FOMO, fear of letting others down.
FOLO.
You need to work on letting go of some of that load. So I got a practical one. I got to get the garage.
I was going to say what's yours.
Garage cleaned out for the wife. That's a big one for us right now. We got a very messy garage. Clean that one out. Then I had 3 goals last year. Learn to play piano, get a 6-pack of abs, not beer, and learn to touch the rim of a basketball goal again. So I was 0 for 3. I think we're gonna get rid of the basketball goal and the 6-pack. We're gonna get a keyboard. Don't even have a keyboard, just piano. We're gonna learn to try to play piano. That's one of the ones this year to have some fun.
Awesome. All right, we'll check back in the new year to see how you did that.
Yeah, we'll be back. 365 days from now. See if I can play. Maybe I'll bring the keyboard in next year.
Right.
Play a couple tunes.
All right, Talk 107.3. Dixon McMakin, it's been a pleasure having you. Haggai Davis, tomorrow, y'all. We got to get out of here.
Later.